Hello everyone, my name is Mizuki Ono. In this presentation, I'd like to talk about the transition of chronotypes. Have you ever heard of the term chronotype? We naturally wake up in the morning and go to bed at night, repeating this cycle unconsciously every day. It seems as if we are controlled by internal clock. That is chronotype. Chronotype is a system that governs the timing of sleep and wake up, and it is roughly categorized into two types, morning type and night type. For this research, I conducted a questionnaire survey and took experiments, so I'd like to share the results following this outline. Now, let me explain the background of why I focused on this topic. Please take a look at Figure 1. Chronotype changes with age toward night type in the teens and early 20s. After reaching its peak, it gradually shoots back to morning type. Generally, schools and work schedules are designed based on a morning type lifestyles. But especially during the teenage years, this creates a mismatch between biological changes and social schedules, which is called social jet lag. According to a survey by the Ministry of Education, over the past 5 years, the number of school refusal students due to social jet lag has accounted for the largest population of reasons for school refusal. And the number of such students has been increasing year by year. To address this issue, I thought it is necessary to adjust their lifestyles to align to their school schedules. However, there were no previous studies which focused on the transition in students' chronotype. So I decided to conduct some experiments myself. Therefore, the purpose of this research is to explore effective methods for students to shift toward a night-type lifestyle. Next, I will talk about the survey results conducted to establish the methods for the experiment. In this survey, I asked 54 respondents about their basic attributes, sleeps and lifestyle habits, and as well as their self-awareness of their chronotype. Figure 3 shows the average bedtime of the respondents. It was clear that about 90% of them went to bed after midnight on both weekdays and weekends. Then the results regarding wake-up times are shown in Figure 4. On weekdays, 83% of the respondents woke up between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., which seems to be largely dependent on their school schedules. On the other hand, on weekends, the wake-up time of more than 80% was after 9 a.m., which was later than that of weekdays. The survey revealed that all respondents who identified themselves as morning type woke up before 7 a.m. and had breakfast 4 times or more per week. In contrast, about 90% of those who identified themselves as night type had breakfast 3 times or less per week, and all of them felt sleepy during the day. From these results, I found correlation between chronotypes and 2 factors. One is breakfast frequency, and the other is daytime sleepiness. Based on the survey, I conducted the experiment to determine how many days it would take to turn from night type to morning type by consciously adopting a morning type lifestyle. In this experiment, as shown in figure 6, I established the criteria for categorizing chronotypes. I set the boundaries, which were the bedtime of midnight and wake-up time of 7 a.m. Those who went to bed and woke up earlier than this boundary were classified as morning type, and those who did so later were categorized as night type. 2 males and 2 females, totaling 4 university students, participated in this experiment. And they answered that they were night type person in the preliminary survey. They consciously adopted a morning type lifestyle for 3 weeks and responded on each day on the questionnaire shown in table 1. The condition of successful transition to morning type was to maintain a score above 8 points for 3 consecutive days. The score fluctuation is shown in figure 7. 3 participants met a requirement by the 19th day, but 1 did not accomplish the transition to morning type. So I decided to analyze why 1 participant failed to shift their chronotype based on previous research. And it was found that 2 factors are involved. 1 is genetic factor and the other is environmental factor. Firstly, I will talk about genetic factor. According to Borsius's study, there is a gene which plays a crucial role in the decision of chronotype in the human body. And it is called clock gene. As shown in figure 8, based on this gene, clock protein is created. This protein, together with BMR1 proteins, promotes the production of cry and PEP proteins. Accumulate cry and PEP proteins inhibit the activity of clock BMR1 protein complex, which triggers the system to encourage sleepiness with an approximately 24-hour cycle. This negative feedback cycle differs from person to person, and it is considered to bring diversification of the individual chronotype. Secondly, I will focus on the environmental factors such as light and caffeine. In Toyora's and Ayake's studies, the relationship between melatonin and blue light was highlighted. Melatonin is one of the hormones produced in the pineal gland, and it induces sleepiness. Exposure to blue light at night signals the brain to perceive it as daytime, stopping melatonin production and, as a result, keeping the brain in the state of wakefulness. Additionally, Kuribara's study also mentioned the effects of the caffeine. Adenosine is also a molecule involved in sleep regulations, as shown in figure 10. It has a structure similar to caffeine. So caffeine can also bind to the adenosine receptors. As shown in figure 11, caffeine prevents adenosine from binding to their receptors. Consequently, caffeine acts as an inhibitor of adenosine. Such reaction disturbs the effects of adenosine, which results in suppressing sleepiness. Based on Experimental 1, I conducted an additional experiment. One male and 3 females, totaling 4 university students, participated in this experiment. The basic experimental method was the same as experiment 1, but I added 2 conditions. One is to refrain from using digital devices for 2 hours before bedtime. And the other is to avoid caffeine intake during all the period. In line with the revision of these rules, in experiment 2, the participants answered the questionnaire shown in table 2 every day. The criteria of experiment 2 for successful transition to morning type was to keep score above 6 points for 3 consecutive days. The score fluctuation is shown in figure 12. Since all participants satisfied with criteria by the 16th day, it could be said that the transition period was successfully reduced. In conclusion, this study revealed 2 negative factors: blue light exposure and caffeine intake, and demonstrated that avoiding them before going to bed could lead to the smooth chronotype transition. Thank you for listening.